What up, guys? Neil Belmar Chronicles sports section. Getting right into it. Super Bowl 60 is in the books. Your Seattle Seahawks are the 2026 Super Bowl champions. 27 technically for the 26 season Super Bowl champions, I should say. Congrats to the Seattle Seahawks. Congrats to a well-deserved win for a very dominant team. I haven't done sports in a while, but this was the outcome we all expected. Seattle was the better team. Seattle has dominated the whole year against great teams. No offense to New England Patriots fans. New England Patriots team that looked great. Did a lot for the AFC this year. Your road was nowhere near as hard as Seattle's was. It's not that you guys didn't show that you could overcome adversity, show that you guys could be a team that rises to the occasion. It's more that rising to the occasion for you guys looked a lot different than rising to the occasion for the Seahawks. Having to beat a Rams team that really had their number, that wanted to win those two games they lost to them. Having to beat a Niners team that was an upstart, that really did challenge them at the beginning of the season, only to come back at the end of the season and take that dub from them to secure the division lead. And the Seahawks had to do a lot more than the Patriots did after they beat the Bills. After they lost to the Bills in the second game of the season against the Bills in Week 12, but then they won their last two games after 2 out of 3, so they clinched the division. So they've had a pretty easy walk, and it's no offense to the Patriots fans, the Patriots in general. It's that their road was just easier. Their road was just easier in general. It was a road that honestly didn't have a bunch of bumps in the way. It kind of was pretty upheaval that wasn't really hard to get through, if you would. I just feel like they've dealt with a lot of quarterbacks who were not going to be starters next year in this league, and we don't need to compare, and we get it. Your schedule is what they laid out in front of you. The schedule is what it is. You win, you lose. This is how it goes. You're measured by wins and losses ultimately in the NFL anyway. That being said, there was always this ounce of doubt because they did not play good teams all year. They did not play first place teams all year. They were playing a bunch of teams that were third, fourth in their divisions for most of the year. They said their win percentage was probably one of the lowest. I think 300 was 300%. Their win percentage against teams they won, the win percentage for teams they won against was 300 versus the teams they lost against was 600, and this is out of 1,000, of course. So it's just a 60%, 30%, where they're not playing good teams and winning. They're playing bad teams and dominating like you should, which is always the assignment in the NFL. Beat the teams you know you can beat and split with the teams that you know you have troubles with, which is exactly what they did. 14-3. One of their losses against a bad team in the Raiders, but the other two were justified. Against the Bills, I think against the Bears, or no, against Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers earlier in the season, justified. But again, saying that they did not have a road where they had to play an NFC West that was tough all year. Even a Cardinals team that wasn't good still gave them fits. It just felt like Seattle had this in the bag from the get-go. It just felt like even when we were watching the 12-0 going into the fourth quarter that it wasn't a close game. Just because you have it on the scoreboard, just because you're going to be able to hear ESPN and Fox Sports and NBC Sports tomorrow talk about how the game could have been within reach if the Patriots would have just did this, There's no would have just. There's the Seahawks defense being that good and dominating the game, showing that they were the number one defense in the league all year for a reason. They deserved it. That team was hungry. A bunch of not even no names, a bunch of players who have been stars in this league on that defense coming together. Thinking about DeMarcus Lawrence from the Cowboys with that moribund franchise not winning important games. Thinking about Leonard Williams, drafted by the Jets, who if he stayed, his career would be marred by mediocrity and not winning important games, averaging 5 wins a season for his whole career, yet he gets traded and he goes to the Giants for a year, reworks his image, and then goes to Seattle with Mike McDonald and looks like a superstar. It's one of those beautiful endings, and you're almost like, stand up, Seattle. That defense has been legit all year, and you guys got to show it. I get all the narratives you got to push on these sports shows and everything, but I think this year, as a man who just turned 31, a week ago, I just sincerely feel like it's not worth watching ESPN right now. It's not worth watching Fox Sports right now. A bunch of these sports shows is more spewing propaganda than it is truly showing us facts, truly helping us understand why we should understand how to enjoy a game, how to see the wins, the losses, see the weaknesses, the strengths of teams. And it just felt like this is one of those things where they tried to spin it to where the Patriots had a legitimate shot, and I didn't believe they did. I know the Super Bowl and everything. I know what could happen. It wasn't that kind of Super Bowl. This was not me going into this game and thinking the Patriots are going to level up against the Seahawks. They couldn't level up against the Jared Stidham-led Broncos team. Without that stupid-ass throw that he has, are they even in the Super Bowl? And it's no offense. Yeah, what ifs and all those things. If Bo Nix is in that game with the Broncos, I don't think he makes that dumbass decision. You can't say for sure because you don't know what Bo Nix does in that position. Drake May didn't look great in that position. This is his second year in the league. It's also Bo's second year. If Bo would have been healthy in that game, that's a different game for the Broncos, I sincerely believe, even in the snow, because Bo's legs are lethal also. And it's like CJ Stroud, 4 interceptions in the first half, where he didn't even matter in the second half because the game was already out of reach. The first game of the playoffs against Justin Herbert and the Chargers, I'm not even giving Justin Herbert any kind of leeway. Fuck that. Justin Herbert is supposed to be looked at as a star in this league. Drafted a pick after my quarterback for the Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa. Guess what? They both don't have any playoff wins. They've both been in the playoffs multiple times, and they both have nothing to show for it. But somehow, Drake May had one of the hardest roads to the Super Bowl. He did not. He did not have a hard road layered with challenges and adversity. It was just a second-year quarterback having to navigate the ins and outs of defenses trying to hurt him, his offense not being able to really play their part the right way. So it was more of a thing that you really felt like, we'll see what happens when you get to a real level of a defense that has a competent quarterback, believes in their coaching, believes in their plan, and executes it to perfection, and the Seahawks did that. Jackson Smith-Njigba was not even that important in this game, yet everybody else on the offense ate. Kenneth Walker winning the Super Bowl MVP was guaranteed. It was almost guaranteed at the half when you saw 12-0 and you knew that he was the only one producing numbers. Jackson Smith-Njigba could honestly have had an argument to be MVP because even without him catching more than 3 passes, he literally affected the game throughout the whole game. The respect and the leverage thrown to his side every single play meant that one of the 1A or 1B stars on the team are going to be able to shine in a random moment. Cooper Kupp had more than a few good plays. Rashid Shaheed more than a few good plays. Sam was still trusting what he saw with his eyes, a little later than I liked, kind of making hesitation moments, but still looked amazing and did what he needed to do. And the last thing I'll say on the Super Bowl is that I just think to myself, it's a weird argument, but Sam Darnold's not going to feel vindicated by winning this. He's going to feel good. Super Bowl champion now. He didn't win MVP. He didn't dominate this game. He looked good. He did enough. He played serviceable quarterback play, but he didn't dominate and take over. So I could see a world where ESPN and Fox Sports and them all find a way to say, did Sam prove haters wrong? And somebody tries to sit there and say, no, he didn't prove haters wrong, because technically he didn't. He didn't dominate. He didn't show you up. He didn't do all that, but he didn't have to. All he had to do was play point guard in this game and not fuck it up. And that's exactly what he did. He didn't fuck it up. No turnovers to Drake May's, two turnovers and a fumble lost. Different kind of conversation for the Patriots. But again, my biggest question for the Patriots compared to the Seahawks is, whose Super Bowl hangover lasts longer? For the Seahawks, you get so much more grace after winning the Super Bowl. You get so much more grace with your fan base, with the team. They all understand injuries, how hard it is to make it to Super Bowl, how much an extra month of football does take a toll on your body. We get all those things. Patriots, though, on the other side, their Super Bowl hangover. They talk about in the NFL how much harder it is to lose a Super Bowl than it is to win one. How much the fatigue and the almost just PTSD of losing that Super Bowl lingers throughout the offseason. All your motivation is wanting to go back and replay that game and do it again, but now you have to spend the next 8 months spinning your wheels and thinking about what you could have done differently, what this, and so you kind of get to the season next year, at the beginning of next season in September, and you almost wonder, are you going to overcompensate, or are you going to be okay with knowing you guys didn't win like you should have, but you guys still were the best team in the AFC, even though you understand this is not going to be the same road next year. Because I said it out loud. I got in arguments at my job last week where I was like, stop fucking pretending, Drake May. was supposed to be an MVP because he just killed really good teams. He just was shitting on top 10 defenses all year and everything. Matthew Stafford deserved MVP because he was playing top 10 defenses for most of the year and coming out on top, okay? That's why he deserved to play. He deserved to win the MVP. I said it out loud last week, though. This year is not measuring what Drake May could be in the NFL. It's next year that measures what he is in the NFL against the first place schedule. See what kind of player Drake May is then we can justify giving him an MVP and saying it like he's supposed to be measured amongst Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow and them boys. He's not yet. He's not there. He's working his way to get there. Just like Jaden Daniels last year, who looked great, did not mean he made his way into the top 5 conversation of the best quarterbacks in the league. He had a great year. He looked really good. He still needs to build on it, though. You got to have consistency and a track record of success in order to show your legacy elevating to that of a Patrick Mahomes or a Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson with accolades throughout the fucking world, but no rings for them yet. Only Patty has the rings. And Jalen Hurts, now Sam Darnold have rings too. So, my last thing will be, I love Bad Bunny. I'm proud of the Super Bowl halftime show. I'm proud that this country looks at diversity more as a loving thing than a hateful thing. I'm saddened that there's a part of our country that wants to believe it's okay to stay stagnant, to stay lost in the past, and not choose to move forward and love life and enjoy the life that we are given and we are granted every single day. Be okay with somebody not looking the same as you. Be okay with somebody not sounding the same as you because they love, they live, and they want to grow the same way you do. The hate you want to throw, the animosity you want to throw. Talking to our president, you know fucking better. Be a decent human being and stop being a piece of shit. People love, people want to grow, people want to learn together. They don't want to find a way to single out each other, separate, segregate, if you would. Stop being a piece of shit. Just love, because Super Bowl halftime show showed more than anything. This country needs love way more than we need division and hate and decisiveness from somebody who should be our leader, not a fucking person who wants us to follow the wrong way. So, love the halftime show. Thank you so much, Bad Bunny, for making an amazing show. Lady Gaga, Ricky Martin, all you guys did excellent. Thank you so much for showing us diversity matters in this country and that love should shine through everything. But it doesn't always get through because somebody wants to cloud it with shitty ass darkness. So let's hope it gets better. Light shines through a lot more, and we don't got to sit here thinking about why negativity has to be at the forefront after a beautiful moment. So, you know. But alright, guys, this has been Midwest Brown Boy Chronicles. I'm your Midwest Brown Boy, Jalen Brownford. Thank you so much for watching any of my videos. I appreciate you guys so much. Come back, like and subscribe. Hear me talk about music, movies, TV, sports, anime, so on and so forth. I love doing it, and I'll keep doing it as long as I choose. So, you guys have a good week. I'll talk to you guys next week. Peace and love always.